Hello and welcome to the Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC. It's time for the playoffs, the Open Division. We're at Corona Centennial as the Huskies, they entertain the always tough modern-day Monarchs. Hello, everybody. My name is Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play. This is the Professor Paul Westfall. Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, that's the only one I got today.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
What's that say about me?
You're a good catch. All right, what about tonight's game? It's a rematch they played earlier in the year in Las Vegas at the Tarkanian, and Corona Centennial won by 10.
Yeah, I tell you, this modern-day team, this is a perplexing Monarch team, but all of this can be rectified starting tonight. 3 wins, and they find themselves in the Open Division final, which is where most of us expected them to be at the start of the season. But for Centennial, this is the surprise team of the season. After losing 3 starters from last year to transfer, I think expectations were lowered. But that win you mentioned against Mater Dei in Las Vegas got the buzz going, and it hasn't stopped. But Randy, it's hard to beat Mater Dei twice in one season. In fact, most of the years it's hard to beat them once in one season.
Well, Devin Askew is a fabulous guard on his way to Kentucky for Mater Dei. He's the one that runs the offense for the Monarchs.
Yeah, he certainly does. An extremely skilled player who can score and pass with the best of them in the country. But I think he'll need to be a passer first and a scorer second tonight in order to get all of his talented teammates involved.
We may be in Corona, California, but really we're in Paris, as in Paris Dawson, the leader of the Huskies.
Yeah, he's the captain. He's the senior who stayed, and he is an extremely hard worker. He's probably the most determined guy on the team, and when your best player is also your best practice player, the young ones will come along.
It's the Huskies and the Monarchs. I'm ready for playoffs. I'm sure you are too. That's next on KDOC TV. The Pacific The Pacific Surfliner CIF Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Need a getaway? Getting there's half the fun when you travel by train. Visit PacificSurfliner.com. And by Wingstop. Open late, order online at Wingstop.com. It's the Mater Dei Monarchs, 22-6 champions of the Trinity League. They were 9-1. Against the Corona Centennial Huskies, 26-2. They were 10-0 champions of the Big 8. And our starting lineups are brought to you by Wingstop. Open late, order online at Wingstop.com.
For the visiting Mater Dei Monarchs, it's Devin Askew, Ryan Evans, Harrison Hornery, Wilhelm Breedenbach, and Nick Davidson. That's the starting lineup for head coach Gary McKnight, the winningest coach in California basketball history. And for Centennial, Paris Dawson, Jared McCain, Freddie DeBala, Peyton White, and Mason Machado. That's the starting lineup for Josh Giles in his 17th year at the helm of Centennial, nearing 400 victories for his career.
Professor, I know you always have your entertaining keys to victory.
Well, this is serious business now, playoff time, and the keys are really important tonight. For Mater Dei, sharing is caring. This is the team that features balanced scoring some nights. In fact, they're 16-4 when at least 4 guys have 9 points or more. And then emphasize your strength. You'll see the size disparity immediately out on the floor. Mater Dei is taller at every position. Let's take a look for Centennial. Pressure cooker, and that's 2 different ways that pressure defense has to be successful for Centennial. They got to turn Mater Dei over, but then there's a lot of pressure on the young guys making their first playoff appearance. This is a very young team, except for a couple of seniors for Josh Giles Centennial. And the key is 3. They got to shoot the ball from outside to spread out that Mater Dei defense, but 6 guys on this team shoot 35% or better from three-point land.
Mater Dei and their familiar red. The Huskies of Corona Centennial in their home whites. Just about ready to go. Again, the Huskies 26-2. They've won 22 consecutive games. Machado and Breedenbach in the center circle. And the Open Division playoffs are underway. The brilliant Devin Askew, the point guard number 5, the Kentucky commit. Nick Davidson, Evans in the corner. That pressure forces an early turnover.
Yeah, Centennial helps and recovers better than most.
Askew claims the rebound. McCain with the initial 3 that didn't go down. Collision, offensive foul on Askew. Dawson did a terrific job of staying in front of him.
Leads the team in charges taken, and you'll see it here. He anticipates the crossover from Askew, gets both feet down. That's a really good call by our officials, and both teams getting after it from the get-go.
Paris Dawson, the consummate point guard, the veteran, number 11 in white for the Huskies. White may have gotten away with a walk and scored. Peyton White.
That's going to be a challenge for the Mater Dei defense while they're taller at almost every position. If Centennial gets you spread out, I think they are quicker laterally than the Monarchs.
Askew and Monarchs that time broke down the pressure beautifully. Well, you can see how they're running jump defensively. Underneath, Davidson is free.
Really pretty pass by Breedenbach as he took it down the left side of the lane, made the diagonal across the lane to the waiting Davidson.
Sharing is carrying, isn't it?
Indeed.
McCain, the exciting freshman. Dawson for 3. Mater Dei in search of the advantage. Breedenbach. It's on the floor. Here come the Huskies. White going up strong, draws the foul.
Second foul. If it's on Askew, that's his second, and Jeff Logan's got the call. It indeed is on number 5. Coach McKnight is up complaining, but this looks like a clear foul to me as Askew raked him across the arm.
That is a major concern, a major issue for Mater Dei. Their star, their floor leader, straddled with 2 early tickets.
Now, Devin's really savvy, and offensively I think he'll be able to play his normal game even with the 2 fouls, but defensively he's going to have to be very careful. He likes to go for the steal, and if he gets caught reaching in one more time here in this first quarter, it could have an adverse effect on the rotation for Mater Dei.
White, excellent finisher around the basket. We've already seen that. He has the 4 points for Corona Centennial.
Here comes that man-to-man pressure. What you want to do is hit that ball in the middle. That's exactly right, but don't put it on the floor, Harry.
McCain with the takeaway. And this foul's on Harrison Hornery.
And you saw just a classic example of what you don't want to do against that pressure defense. They made the pass to the middle of the floor to one of the bigs. Keep it up high. It shouldn't come down to the floor level. That makes you equal to the defender. if they keep it up high and just make that, for that first pass to the middle, they can go either right or left, but the ball's got to stay in the air. And Hornery with a critical error there.
McCain, an 80% foul shooter, knocks down over 40% from beyond the arc.
A remarkable freshman. Coach Giles said maybe the smartest freshman that he's ever seen. Compares him as a freshman to Casey Jacobson, who Josh played with at Glendora. That's high praise.
And Glendora lost in the CIF Southern Section Championship game to Mater Dei. Breedenbach. Tip by Davidson, out of bounds to the Huskies.
But outstanding effort by these smaller Huskies. They set up a picket fence around the basket. There were 4 Huskies boxing off the Mater Dei offensive rebounders. That's what they're going to have to do, because Mater Dei will just play volleyball with it until it goes in the basket, but not if you seal them off like they did that time.
The Huskies are relentless defensively. McCain with the pull-up. Machado battling inside, but it's Davidson that comes out of there with a pass to Evans. Askew to the goal. Got it back and scores. Devin Askew.
See, he's not afraid with the 2 fouls to go to the basket. He'll have to be smart, though, and make sure if they set somebody underneath him, he's going to have to use a jump stop. Nice block by Davidson.
Yeah, Nick with tremendous anticipation denied White. Askew again.
That could be the 3rd.
It is. Offensive foul on Devin Askew.
Tremendous anticipation. I believe that was Dawson again, who thought Askew might just spin, and when he did, you'll see it right in the middle of your screen. Dawson is waiting for the spin and draws the second charge, 3rd foul overall.
3 fouls in 2 minutes and 55 seconds, and for the time being, Askew's still out there wearing a wry smile. He knows he's got the foul issue.
He's just going to have to keep his hands in his pockets defensively.
Going against Dawson, though, is not an easy assignment. Paris offline, and another solid rebound for Nick Davidson.
And so far, the Husky game from distance is not there.
Davidson, nice feed on the baseline. That's pretty basketball. And Hornery, the sharpshooter, knocked it down.
The bigs from Mater Dei are good passers. They go big to big along the baseline and high-low very well.
Well, the pace of the basketball game so far, Professor, what do you think? Who's the favorite?
I think it's Centennial's pace. They just haven't made shots they normally make. Dawson's missed one from outside. McCain missed one. These are shots that they've been making all season.
McCain to Dawson. A 3-ball. Paris back of the iron, no good. Long shots take long bounces. McCain on the baseline, reverse layup, and Evans clears for Mater Dei.
Well, these are shots that normally Centennial will knock down. Maybe a little bit of nervousness here, and Coach Giles is going to go to his bench.
Inside, a wrestling match. Davidson and Dawson, and the fouls on Paris Dawson. Donovan Dent, who's a scoring machine and just a hard-nosed worker, very elite performer, comes in for the Huskies. Timeout on the floor. We're even at 6 apiece. Yes, it's the Open Division, and we have quality teams on the floor tonight on KDOC TV. Tonight's Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Travel by train to Southern California's top destinations. Book today at PacificSurfliner.com. KDOC.com. The game is tied, but it's really advantage Huskies because Devin Askew has 3 fouls to find point guard of Mater Dei.
Yeah, that is a critical situation in the game. Devin's going to stay out there. I don't think Mater Dei can play real well without him. I haven't seen a lot of backup point guard play for Mater Dei this year. And Centennial's had 3 or 4 shots that they normally make. I think Mater Dei is fortunate that they're tied at 6. This could easily be a 6 or an 8-point Centennial lead.
And a turnover. Evans pass wide of the target. He wanted Askew.
Well, and that's what happens when somebody else is taking the role of the point guard. In that particular set, Evans was the point and Askew was the desired shooter, and the pass was just a little bit off the mark.
And number 3, basketball, Donovan Dent. He's been inserted. And an easy layup inside. Quick first step for Aaron McBride, another freshman player.
Yeah, and he's going to be really, really good. That's Allen's brother. Allen was a senior last year. He's at Azusa Pacific this year. But here's the pressure almost coming up with their first steal.
That's a swarming defense. Evans having trouble pulling the trigger. Davidson does the 3 ball for Nick Davidson.
Nice work by the 2 former Santa Margarita players who came in last year to Mater Dei. Evans and Davidson doing their magic.
Dawson, another one that's offline. But Dent picks up the loose change. And this one's going against Donovan Dent.
Yeah,
and hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, both players went down really hard, and Dent is getting up second there, and hopefully he's fine. He is a dynamic offensive player, is number 3, Donovan Dent. Tremendous finisher. In the 2 games I saw the Huskies on tape, Dent very creative inside, and that time just went maybe a step too far. But Dawson normally makes those. He's a 42% three-point shooter. Dent would have been better served to pull up there with a jump stop and a little 5-footer off the glass. That one extra dribble cost him.
Yeah, Donovan Dent comes off the bench. He averages 9 a game. He really gets starter minutes, even though he is technically a second-team performer.
Yeah, really athletic player. Terrific, like I say, a finisher around the basket. Going to get a foul this time against McCain, against Evans.
A reaching foul, trying to poke it away. 2:37 left in a very entertaining and hard-fought opening quarter.
Now, Mater Dei went 2-3 zone that last Husky possession. If the Huskies aren't going to make those shots, then Mater Dei can stay in the zone.
Well, Evans did everything right as the point guard, but finish. There's a beautiful break, and McBride will finish. Paris Dawson with a gorgeous assist.
Oh, threaded the needle there. There wasn't a lot of space there. Mater Dei would like a timeout.
2:18 to play in the opening quarter, and the Huskies edge ahead, up by 1. Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week. This is our open division, and here is open versus open for the professor.
Well, exactly. What I like about basketball as opposed to football is all the really good teams seek each other. They like to play quality competition. You can see there, I think they got the seeding exactly right. There were some questions about whether some teams were seeded too low, other teams maybe a little bit too high. But you can see Sierra Canyon and Corona Centennial both 2-1 against each other in this open versus open concept. Rancho Christian with that murderous schedule, 2-2 against the open division. Etiwanda only played 2 open division teams but split. St. Anthony and Alan Cavness building a program there in Long Beach, 2-1. Harvard Westlake split their 2 games with a win over Etiwanda. Mater Dei just 1-2 against the quality competition. And St. John Bosco, Matt Dunn, somebody's got to tell Matt Dunn, you got to stop scheduling that many open division games. They just went 2-4, and just kidding there. Matt always likes to play the toughest competition he can find.
Monarchs turned it over 3 of their first 5 possessions, but they're handling the pressure a little bit better in recent moments.
And as you can see, it takes them a good 10 seconds to get into their offense, which minimizes what you can do in the half court.
Evans for 3. Dawson the other way. Paris with a run out. And he's held.
Yeah, he's so quick, and his lateral movement is next level good. And Evans was sort of trying to anticipate and take a charge, but Dawson just sidesteps him, goes around him, and draws the foul. They're going to say a non-shooting foul, though. It'll be out of bounds to Centennial.
Ramsey Huff, number 23 in. Very streaky shooter.
Yes, but when he hits a couple, Coach Giles said, then watch out. And this man here, McCain, I expect him to make one fairly soon as well. A devastating freshman shooter.
Yeah, he's hit as many as 9 threes in a game this season in his freshman campaign. Dawson giving to McBride, who stumbles. And it is a travel against McBride.
But there's space between the Mater Dei defenders. A number of times here in this first quarter, Centennial's been able to split the Mater Dei defense and get to the basket. Now, they haven't always finished. Good job by Evans against the double team.
I think he's done a pretty good job of that, handling the point. Going up is Prukop, who's entered, and he draws the foul.
And if that's on Dawson, that's his second. No, they're going to call it on McCain instead.
Aiden Prukop, who is signed with Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, averages 9 a game. Excellent outside shooter. There's our game officials: Kevin Sue, Jeff Logan, and Kim Bond.
White back into the game. Out goes McBride. Dybala back into the game as well. He's the glue guy. He was actually made all-tournament in the Tarkanian Classic Platinum Division. Quite an accomplishment for Freddie, who they don't run a lot of offensive sets for him. He gets his points through hard work.
Mater Dei lost by 10 to this Corona Centennial team in that Tarkanian tournament. Neither team in a big building shot well that night.
No, 63-53, but Centennial really not shooting well in their home gym so far tonight.
Good ball movement. White on the baseline. Dybala. Harris is way off with that shot so far.
Yeah, their shots aren't even close. They're not rimming them in and out or anything like that. Centennials, I think that's nerves.
Cremonesi, who's come off the bench for Mater Dei, wears number 4. This is Prukop. And back come the Huskies, down by 1. Corner jumper. Yes. The 3-ball from Ramsey Huff. An exciting sophomore, and they're all so young here. These fans adore the youth.
Well, and if Huff hits his first one, be careful.
Davidson draws the foul. He'll shoot 2.
Pace is frenetic, yet not a lot of made shots in this first quarter. That, I think, helps Mater Dei's cause.
Young front line for Mater Dei, the tall trees. Big Davidson, 6'8", 205-pound junior, the transfer from Santa Margarita. He is a shot blocker at the other end of the building. Got 1 of 2. Huskies by a single digit. Final 25 seconds of the opening quarter. The shot clock is put to bed.
Yeah, last shot time for the Huskies, and I think they'll be pretty good at holding it till, especially with Mater Dei in a zone. They should be able to hold this for the absolute last attempt. I'd expect Dawson will get started in about 2 or 3 seconds.
Considering Paris hasn't shot it well, Huskies are up 1. They got to be thrilled with that. This is Paris Dawson with 2 seconds left in the quarter, and we have come to the end of the opening session. You can see it's very tight. 2 outstanding teams in the Open Division. Corona Centennial by 1 after the first 8 minutes on a Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV. Westchester and Fairfax are killing their teams.
Fairfax is killing
El Camino by 25, and Westchester's up by 17. Yeah. I can't hear you. CIF Southern Section what? CIF Southern Section Ford Open Division Championships. Okay, I'll throw that in there right now. That's what I thought. I tried to tell people. The CIF Southern Section Fort Open Division Championships are brought to you by Pacific Surfliner. Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Need a getaway? Getting there's half the fun when you travel by train. Visit PacificSurfliner.com. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyotathon is on. Get an incredible year-end savings on a reliable new Toyota.
Score in from Frank Burleson, Basketball Hall of Fame writer and prep guru. Rancho Christian leads Harvard Westlake 41-37 with 4 minutes to go in the third. We'll be keeping an eye on that one.
Evan Mobley, Mason Hooks against one another. That's some battle, I would imagine, in the paint. Here it's 13-12 Huskies. Devin Askew back on with 3 fouls playing for Mater Dei.
Monarchs still in that 2-3 zone because it was very successful in the first quarter. Centennial not making the shots they normally make. This should result in some wing threes or corner threes.
The ball is short. Huff got the loose change and scored. And Ramsey Huff has 5 off the punt.
And that was maybe a little bit better lucky than good. The ball just grazed the rim, so it fell right into the hands of Huff.
High post is Logan Cremonesi.
Monarchs moving the ball much more crisply here this possession. Ball's not sticking with the bounce.
Askew a deep 3 attempt. Deflected by Horner, picked up by DeBala.
But the Huskies have gotten almost all of the 50-50 balls so far in the first 10 minutes.
They're a very fast team. And it's a hot potato, and Dent on the baseline puts it in.
He is terrific. He's able to finish through contact.
Askew's pass deflected away out of bounds to Mater Dei.
Break for the Monarchs, because if the Huskies could have held on to that, they had a runner, they might have been able to get an easy one. But that frantic, pressing, help and recover defense, plus they get a lot of deflections. And if they can get the thing going the other way, they're pretty good in transition. Monarchs need to make sure they take care of the basketball, but a couple of times they've shown great ball movement going side to side.
Breedenbach. And here's Dent and the Huskies.
Yeah, Monarchs bigs haven't made anything from deep yet.
Huff. There's your unsung hero so far, Ramsey Huff.
Well,
2 threes and 8 points.
Yep.
He's the difference.
Coach Giles said if he makes his first one, watch out, and he's made 2 in a row from distance.
Prukop is fouled. Dent got him on the arm. That's a good call. Official Jeff Logan right on it.
Yeah, he bumped him a little bit while he was up in the air. You got to protect the shooters, and that's a good call, sending Prukop to the line. Kind of slows down, much needed, just a stoppage of play. Mater Dei was getting a little bit out of control there, and they weren't getting back defensively.
You know, with all the name value of Mater Dei, you seem to forget that Aiden Prukop, the young guy at the free throw line, was all league last year in the Trinity. That's how talented this team is.
Well, they are certainly 6 deep, maybe 6.5 if you count Cremonesi, but Prukop, a fine, whether he's starting or coming off the bench, a fine scorer.
Huff feeling it. Maybe too much.
That was a heat check to be sure.
Askew nearly traveled. Going up strong was Horner, and he's fouled, and the fans don't like it.
Ooh, I'd have to see that one again. Plus, the whistle was a little tardy. Let's watch again. You see it on the left of your screen. Hornery going up strong. Oh, goal. That's all basketball. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Now, Coach Giles gave me a little bit of a look. I think we're in agreement there that the Monarchs catch a break on that one.
McBride was given the foul. And the Monarchs not hitting their fouls consistently, but they got the ball back. But there's that pressure forcing a turnover, and Greenbach knocks down White.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the shot was a foul, that collision with Breedenbach certainly was as well. And the ref saw it the same way I did.
Number 0, Donovan Watkins in for the Huskies, and they're 10 deep.
Oh, the fastest guy on the team. If you thought the pace was quick before, Here comes Watkins, and he's the fastest one of them all.
And he can score. A bundle of energy, number 0. And the Monarchs look to trap him. 6-point lead for the Huskies. And Prukop picking up the ticket.
I'm not sure I would do that trapping if I was Mater Dei. If they get that first pass out, as we'll have the 1-on-1 now on the 7th team foul, if they get that first trap out of the pass, the Huskies are too quick over the rest of the floor. I think you're spread out and vulnerable. I don't know if I would do that same run and jump on the wing.
White. Head coach Josh Giles believes the White could be great before his tenure here is over. And again, he's a 6'4", 185-pound sophomore. His potential is through the roof. So's his haircut. 22-14 for the Huskies. They lead by 8. That's the biggest margin of the night.
Now, that's it. Pass it. No dribbling. Pass it through that trap.
And because of it, you get a good look. Cremonesi couldn't convert, but the rebound is up. No good by Hornery, but he's going to the free throw line. That's the advantage.
Yes.
They can really outboard Corona Centennial with that huge size advantage.
Yeah, you can see how that can happen, but the Mater Dei bigs also have to want to go and get those rebounds, because they're going to long shots, long rebounds, as you said earlier, Randy, and that rebound came out about a good 8 to 10 feet, which means the Mater Dei bigs can't get caught standing and watching.
Jared McCain back in, the entertaining freshman. Mater Dei's leaving points out there. They're just not hitting their charities.
No, I agree with that as well. Huff leaves the game, but what a contribution he made coming off the bench. Now they'll look for the freshman McCain.
Watkins to White.
Nice job by Prukop.
And an outlet to Hornery running the floor.
Very nice. Nice pass by Prukop and a good catch and finish by Hornery. That's Mater Dei's first fast break basket, I believe.
At 6'10", Hornery able to catch the ball, hold his balance, and finish at the cup. White with the jump stop to McBride. All the way, no good, and there's Hornery rebounding. Askew long lead to Cremonesi. To Prukop, that's pretty.
Yes, nice job by Cremonesi not to try to shoot that himself. He was a little bit off balance on the catch, and instead, nice pass to the cutting Prukop.
Watkins on the weave.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yep, McCain went up and down without putting the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
Josh Giles wants his team to settle down.
Yeah. McCain just, I think because he hasn't made one yet, just a little bit anxious. It's a lot to ask for a freshman, your first playoff game against Mater Dei. I mean, come on now.
Well, Askew picked up 3 fouls in less than 3 minutes. He's out there still with the 3. He's got to be careful throwing out that arm.
Yes, he could have got one there.
4 minutes to play in the half. Askew with the pass into the corner, and he missed his target, which was Nick Davidson.
Yeah, Devin said my bad. Davidson had his feet set, and he's a good shooter when he's got time. Timeout.
Timeout on the floor. Inside of 4 minutes to play in the half. McBride and company have a 4-point lead on KDOC TV. Tonight's Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week, the CIF Southern Section Fort Open Championships. is presented by Wingstop. Open late, order online at wingstop.com. Well, we've seen a flurry here from Mater Dei. They're down 8. They've cut it in half, battling this highly energetic Corona Centennial squad.
Yeah, they have T-shirts that said "Hard work greater than talent" when they were warming up, and this is a team that works extremely hard, and they know with 10 guys in the rotation that they can give it all the energy they have for a 3-4 minute stretch, knowing that they'll be substituted out. A couple quick scores. After 3 quarters, Rancho Christian leads Harvard Westlake 51-49. And with 4 minutes to go in the third, Sierra Canyon blowing out St. John Bosco up 19.
Got a shot there. Terrific steal by Prukop of Mater Dei. Can't put the ball on the ground and dribble a lot against this team.
No, and that's so astute, Randy, because when Mater Dei moves the ball with the pass and the quick pass, they've got much better shots.
15 on the shot clock for the Monarchs.
Move it.
Askew's trapped. Someone has to be open. That's good ball movement there, and Davidson scores. Hornery found him.
Yeah, good recognition by Hornery, and a nice cut to the basket by Davidson. He didn't get caught watching the action. Mater Dei with 6 in a row.
Dawson.
He's got to make something. They can't go a half without him scoring.
5-second violation, and Mater Dei's excited. They're playing tight defense.
Yes, and Centennial looks a little bit out of sorts. Nobody came to help Dawson that time. After about the second pivot, somebody's got to present themselves for a pass, even if it's near the mid-court line. You've got to give Dawson some kind of outlet, and young Huskies all sort of expecting somebody else to do it.
A 2 for the tie, a 3 for the advantage for Mater Dei. Working it down low. They wanted Breedenbach, taken away by McCain, and he lost it back to Prukop, who in turn gives it back to White. What a flurry that was. And White, through traffic, suddenly gets the ball back. It's hectic.
It is crazy basketball. Very inefficient basketball, but no lack of energy.
Smartly pulling up as Askew. Didn't want to get a charge.
Oh, wow.
Ball's on the ground, and there's a timeout taken by Giles and Corona Centennial.
Well, what Josh wanted, and I think he had a case, was he wanted to reach in on Askew, which might have been a dramatic 4th foul. We'll see if we see it again. Askew, I'm just surprised Devin did that.
I think it's a good no call, though. That would have been a hard 4th to take.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got to be more careful than that.
Yeah, he does.
Because that play, that was an inconsequential play. You got to put your hands in your pockets defensively when you got 3.
Well, it is what a playoff contest is all about. In-your-face defense on both sides. Points are hard to come by in the opening half.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mater Dei's really ratcheted up the defense after it was 22-14. The Huskies been stuck on 22 for a while now, and they're not even getting shots, and especially not even getting good shots, but sometimes no shots. The number of turnovers here in these last couple of minutes caused by the Mater Dei pressure defense.
Dawson will bring it up the floor. Been silent from the perimeter tonight. Cause of concern for the Huskies.
Askew out. I think that near foul kind of worried McKnight a little bit.
White from the free throw line.
Oh, they're making nothing from outside.
Prukop all the way. Ties it.
Oh, he's such a savvy, a clever scorer there. One long step to the basket, and he spins it up and in, and we're even at 22.
The run is 8 for the Monarchs.
Dent, the offensive spark plug, will be in the next time it's dead for Centennial.
Dawson lost the handle. A run out for the Monarchs. The trailer is Hornery, and Prukop found him. It's a run of 10. Mater Dei leads by 2.
And Centennial just completely disorganized offensively.
Ramsey, who has 8 points. Trip, no call. Looking for help.
One more pass. There it is.
Long 3 is up and in. McCain hits.
I thought that White was not going to find him, a steal for Centennial and a foul against Mater Dei, but that maybe gets the freshman going. That's his first make of the night, comes with less than a minute to go in the second quarter. But Jared McCain capable of big things, and you could just see his body language much better, although he's going to come out for the last 44 seconds so he doesn't pick up another foul.
Aaron Wadman, who checked in, perched at the free throw line. Huskies by 1. They forced that turnover. Both teams 8 fouls, so these are 1-1 still. And he does not convert, and Breedenbach rebounds.
I would expect the Monarchs to take their time here. There was no chance for a 2-for-1, so you might as well run the majority of these 30 seconds off.
Looking at inside to Hornery.
Oh, that was a little quick.
Breedenbach kept it alive. Prukop. Wadman with the rebound. Dawson will pull up, and he's fouled, knocked down by Evans.
Wow, I thought that shot was a little quick for the captain, Dawson, but he gets bailed out with a foul on Evans, who lost control on the closeout. Get another look at it. Dawson pulling up. Yeah, Evans with the little shove in the belly button, and that's going to be detected every time. Coach McKnight didn't think so, but Centennial continuing to help the Monarchs by missing from the line.
Again, Paris Dawson is an excellent shooter. He's 83% from the charity stripe.
Yeah, he looks like he just might be trying a bit too hard in this first half.
It's a 3-shot infraction. Paris is already committed to Portland State. Will play for the Vikings. There's Gary McKnight, 38th season. Nobody has more victories in the history of California than that man.
91% winning percentage.
That'll get it done, don't you think?
Ridiculous. Oh, yeah, that's indescribable.
That's 30 victories plus a year. Evans down by 3. Last shot time for the Monarchs. Inside, Prukop missed a layup. Rebound Davidson. He's right there and puts it in. Nick Davidson with a beautiful follow. We have a 1-point game.
Prukop with another near steal. Huskies getting a little lazy with those entry passes, and that'll do it.
At the break, well, it's what we expected. Second-seeded Corona Centennial up by 1 over 7th-seeded Mater Dei. A hard-fought defensive struggle in the opening 16 minutes. Huskies 27, Monarchs 26 on the Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV. You got the interview.
Yeah.
You know, everyone says John. Look at the Fairfax score.
Yeah.
King Drew's killing
Taft. Yeah, I just saw that.
There's.
And Nima or David, I've got those scores from those other games if we want to build that thing.
Who are our top scorers? Davidson has 10? Wow, I didn't see that.
Oh, good for you guys. You can change that Rancho Christian score if you want.
Harvey Westlake win it?
Gentlemen, no, they're still playing, but it's 51-49. Welcome back to Centennial High School. We're in Corona, California for the Open Division first round game between Centennial and Mater Dei. I'm Paul Westphal. Alongside me is Randy Rosenblum. Centennial leads at 27-26. Earlier today, Randy had a chance to talk with the head man of Centennial High School.
You know, everyone says Josh Giles is the coach of the year in high school basketball in Southern California. Let's go to the source and see what he thinks. Are you the coach of the year in the Southland?
You weren't joking with the tough question to start. I think we have a really good group of kids that have totally bought into what we're trying to do as a team. And whenever you have that, with a group of kids that are willing to work hard, I think it makes everybody look really good.
How do you get a young group like this to buy in?
I think having somebody like a Paris Dawson, a leader like that who leads by example every single day, I think that definitely helps when you have somebody that's kind of proven himself at the varsity level, and then every single day he comes in and works hard and tries to be the best version of himself every day. I think that helps out a lot.
A lot of people felt Corona Centennial might be a little bit down this year. 26-2 isn't down. Are you even surprised at the record?
I think so. I mean, especially when you consider the strength of schedule that we had, and we don't try to duck anybody. We try to go out and play as tough a schedule as possible every single year. So if you would have asked me at the beginning of the year, would we be 26-2? I probably wouldn't have believed that. But the biggest thing for us is trying to play hard, play harder than our opponent every single night. And when you do that, it gives you some opportunities, gives you a chance to win at the end.
I want to ask you about Jared McCain, a freshman I know you think is special.
Yes, I think his mentality and his approach to the game, how hard he works, just the maturity of a freshman to do some of the things that he does as far as like preparation, how serious he takes trying to be a great basketball player. I think that kind of sets him aside, and we're lucky to have him, and I think he's going to be really good over the next couple of years, that's for sure.
Coach, congratulations on a terrific season.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thanks to Coach Josh Giles, the longtime head coach of Centennial High School, star at Glendora and also at Concordia University, where he was a two-time All-American. Thanks very much for the time. First half highlights. Mater Dei finally got some things going there, but Centennial seemed to be quicker to the basketball most of the night. We'll have more highlights, some stats, and analysis when we return. Mater Dei down 1 at the half.
God, the Stars have very little tonight. Has Greenbach scored?
I don't think so.
I don't either. Where are we going Tuesday? Yeah, that's fine, because the score, it's not about the scoring in this game. It's about the non-scoring.
Wow. Yeah, that's correct as far as we know.
But those aren't finals.
Those are not finals. None of those are finals.
Except for the Anawanda.
Yeah.
This will be. This will be quick.
You just take the highlights.
All right. At the break, Corona Centennial with a 1-point advantage against Modern Day, 27-26. Some highlights from the first half. Everybody loosened up, getting prepared for this open division battle. Modern Day on the road, excited to be here as well. Devin Askew, and he picked up 3 early fouls. That's a factor. You see the great passing inside. That was a Davidson basket, who leads them in scoring with 10. A rare outside make. That was Davidson, who has the 10 points. He played a beautiful first half. Fast break basket there for McBride. Huff gave him a lift. He leads them with 8, hitting that corner jumper. And this is Dent with a strong drive on the baseline. Great ball movement. That's key for Corona Centennial. They did not hit a lot of perimeter shots there. The Modern Day passing game coming up big, and that's what they do best. Those bigs feeding one another. They really know how to attack the goal. That was a beauty from Prukop. You won't see too much of that on our highlights. We didn't see a whole lot of threes in the first half. Maybe the ball will go down in the second half. Second half action is next on KDOC TV. Who will advance? Got a tight one here, 27-26. Professor, I'm glad we didn't do the Fairfax game of the city tonight against El Camino. The Lions, the top seed, and we'll have the city championship game later in the month on the 29th on our game of the week from Pacific Surfliner. Fairfax 93, El Camino out of the Valley 48.
Ouch. Well, when we get a chance, we'll show you some scores from other open division contests. One was played last night because Etowanda has a wrestling tournament there in their gym, so they played last night. So when we get a chance, we'll update you on scores from around the open division. Modern Day starts off the third quarter.
We have quite a wrestling match here on the basketball floor. Going back door to Evans, controlled it but didn't finish, and Machado rebounds.
Good play run out of the locker room by Modern Day. Evans just lost control of it and was forced to try kind of a wild reverse layup that just came up short.
How long can Devin Askew go without picking up that 4th foul? Remember, the 3 personals came in the first 3 minutes for number 5 in red. Dawson behind the back, tipped away by Breedenbach. They all battle for it. We're going to have a tie-up.
Possession arrow will be in favor of the Huskies. Rare mistake by Paris Dawson. He tried to dribble through 2 Modern Day defenders, and that had little chance of success. But good hustle by the Huskies to get down there and keep the possession on their end of the court.
Good ball, let it bring it in.
Now, I was watching McCain shoot at halftime, and he made about 5 in a row from beyond the arc.
Dawson to beat the shot clock. Maybe his toughest shot of the night, and he scores.
And that could have been an and one. There was some contact there.
Breedenbach showing some handles.
Yeah, but be careful with that.
Davidson powering up and one. It's Nick Davidson on offense, shouldering the load for the Monarchs.
He's been brilliant tonight, scoring from inside and out that time, playing through contact, up and in, and one for Nick.
The average is 8. He's shooting for his 13th of the evening. And we're even at 29.
Davidson, just a junior, going to be a very good player. One more year for Coach McKnight. And Modern Day were down 8 at 22-14. They've come back to get back to even. Where's the offense going to come from for Centennial?
Machado, maybe? No. Nobody there to rebound for Corona Centennial. Evans is free.
He's just rushing things a little bit, I think, with his shot.
Breedenbach forcing the play, and he draws the foul.
That's the percentage move for Mater Dei most of the time, rather than just settling for jumpers. If the bigs can somehow take it 1, 2, 3 dribbles to the paint, they're going to have the advantage. And Breedenbach with a low percentage shot, but he draws the foul and maybe makes something out of nothing.
Saw him last week on our air against Jay Serra, and Will was terrific with a 24-point explosion in San Juan Capistrano, the victory over Jay Serra Catholic, and he gives Mater Dei the lead.
Well, first Mater Dei lead in a long time. I think it was early in the second quarter, the last time the Monarchs had the advantage.
Dawson who just hit that tough shot. Maybe that'll get him going. McCain to Machado, and it's blocked. There's Hornery with the block. That was pretty by number 30, raising up in red to block it away.
Yeah, I think inside out is going to work better against this Monarch defense, unless you can get all the way to the rim without running into the long arms.
White is open. Terrific inbounds play. DeBala found him.
Yeah, Freddie was patient there, getting close to the 5 count, but he knew he had just enough time to deliver it right on time to White.
Davidson, the high post to Evans, who has a clean look. It's in and a foul. A chance for 4.
He needed that. He's had a tough night from the outside, and for a guy who is a really good shooter, that time he stayed with it all the way through the shot. A little bit of a touch foul, but you got to protect the shooter, and that might get Brian Evans started. And Randy, we've seen it where he makes 4, 5, 6 in a row.
You're right about that. Mason Machado picked up his 3rd foul, so he's taken out of the lineup. Evans for the 4-point play. Tight rim, and it did not go through for him.
Both teams missing numerous foul shots that might come back to bite them in a close game.
Tournament play, too. Throughout the tournament, you got to make your free throws. And suddenly, Paris Dawson lighting it up with 2 tough jump shots.
Oh, I'll say contested shot. Askew was right there.
Inside, Mater Dei knows to look inside out. Evans on the baseline is free. It's in the air. It's in and out again.
Oh, I thought that was in, and so did Ryan.
Dawson.
A little bit of a heat check for Paris, but deserved.
Askew in the corner. Hornery. Rush that shot. They can get that shot anytime.
Yes, well said, Randy. That's so early in the shot clock. Don't settle for 22-footers. Probe the defense a little bit.
Especially when you have that superior height advantage and you can get great looks inside if you work it around, but you got to keep it moving.
Somebody got to come to the rescue of DeBala, who's out on top trying to run the offense, but he's 30 feet from the basket. Now they get in their set. They run this weave oftentimes till they get a seam. Then with their quickness, they'll drive to the basket. But the pace of the passing, a little slow.
McBride off the dribble. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay at that end. Donovan Dent, the sophomore, checking back in for Corona Centennial. DeBala, as you can see, goes to the bench.
Yeah, Dent usually used to try to score immediately. He's the kind of guy they look for to energize the stagnant offense.
Prukop checks back in. Davidson to the sideline, and he's played well.
He has been terrific. Good thing they brought him tonight because the rest of the offense has been a little sluggish.
Playoff basketball, though. Tough, hard fought. Bodies are flying everywhere. This foul's on Breedenbach, knocking down Paris Dawson.
Yeah, it's hard for the Mater Dei bigs when they go out there and try to cover a guy as quick as Dawson, who still has his dribble available. That's why you got to stop a little bit short of getting right into the jersey of the offensive player, because he'll just drive right into you, and that's exactly what Dawson did that time.
Breedenbach, like Askew, has 3 fouls.
And that's why Will needed to be a little more cautious on that closeout.
Dent. Good contest there.
Yes.
Mater Dei back the other way.
Oh,
Askew missed Breedenbach, but Breedenbach saved it. But here comes Dawson. And Prukop took it away from him.
Oh,
Aiden Prukop with the basket.
Oh my, how is that not a foul, however? He totally stops the dribbler. And if that's on Breedenbach, that's his fourth, and that might be a bit of a makeup call.
Well, that's painful for Mater Dei. Breedenbach will come off. Rushing back in is Nick Davidson. And Breedenbach knows he committed a no-no.
Yeah, he'll have to sit for quite a while. I don't think Coach McKnight will bring him back in until maybe halfway through the fourth quarter, and we've got 4 minutes to go here in the third.
Mater Dei by 1. McBride. Excellent defense by Mater Dei.
And some questionable shot selection from Centennial.
And it's a young Husky team in the playoffs. They've had a fabulous year. They have a 22-game winning streak.
Ooh, travel.
Askew. He can't connect.
Nobody's shooting well from outside tonight.
Dent all the way. White inside, puts it in, off of glass. We're even at 35.
Oh, good job by White not to assume that ball was going in, because it certainly looked like it was going to, but he stayed with it, and nobody else elevated for the second chance opportunity.
Points at a premium. 15 on the shot clock. Evans looking for a cutter. Davidson with that skip pass to Prukop. Yes, the 3-ball. Aiden Prukop.
Very nice patience by the Mater Dei offense.
Dent takes the baseline, and he's fouled going up.
I think they'll get Cremonesi with the foul there. No, they got Evans with that? Yes.
Timeout on the floor. 2:51 left in the third. Mater Dei, with their terrific defense, has taken a 3-point lead on the road in Corona, California, on the Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV. Tonight's Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV is driven by your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. Donovan Dent fouled as he was attacking the goal. Has 2 free throws. And he averages 9 a game. In better form at the charity stripe. Most of the players tonight, Professor, have really struggled with the freebies.
Yeah, both teams guilty of not taking advantage of these opportunities. But you got to love the energy and effort on both squads defensively. I mean, we got under 3 to go here in the third, and neither team got to 40 yet.
Nice press break from Mater Dei.
Still plenty of time. Be patient, side to side.
Askew launching. Prukop, a second opportunity for the team in red, the Mater Dei Monarchs.
Once again, run the offense, go through the possession. Nice.
Askew with a great dish, and Cremonesi scores.
And a really good cut by Cremonesi. You know, don't minimize that. You got to present yourself to the passer, and Askew found the cutting Cremonesi in just the perfect spot.
Yeah, the Monarchs do have the 40-37. Huskies led by 1 at intermission. McCain to McBride.
Good scouting by Mater Dei. They're not letting McCain breathe offensively.
No basket. Offensive foul on Donovan Dent.
They've been consistent with that call all night long. Let's see if the Mater Dei defender got set. I'm not 100% sure that Davidson did that time, but they have called it charge most of the night. And that's, if that's on Dent, that's his third.
It is his third. We have a number of players with 3 and 1 with 4. Will Breedenbach has 4 personal fouls, currently off the floor for Mater Dei. Pack Gym here at the Dog Pound.
Coach Giles switching up the defensive pressure. Mater Dei's done a nice job in the second half. No turnovers directly leading to baskets for Centennial, although there might be one.
Tipped away. Askew rescues in the corner. He's trapped, but he finds the open man, which is Hornery.
There you go, side to side. Now
Crew
once again,
cop.
bring it back this side.
Professor continues to tell these players how to attack the press.
No, too much dribbling there. And I think Coach McKnight agrees.
He does. He takes the timeout, brings his team to the sideline with $1:24 to play in the third. Every possession is so important. Professor, get into this pool play and try to break it down for our fans watching tonight's contest. It really isn't do or die tonight. I know they want to advance, but it's not a must-win situation technically.
No, you have 3 games that are guaranteed, and so the team with the best record in each pool will advance to the final. Last year we saw 2 teams that tied with 2-1 records, but then the point system comes into play, which is a little bit too long to describe during a timeout, but we do have our first final in of tonight. Rancho Christian held off Harvard Westlake 67-62, so Rancho Christian goes to 1-0, Harvard Westlake goes to 0-1, but even though you might lose your first game, that doesn't eliminate you, unlike the normal bracket type situation. CIF Southern Section thought the pool play worked marvelously last year, and I do too.
Davidson.
That's a carry.
Double dribbled and carried. He did both of them.
Yeah, I think he was going to pass it backdoor cut, and then for whatever reason he decided at the last second not to, and then he got caught in between the shot and the pass.
Still a 1-possession game. Little to separate these squads. Early on, Corona Centennial, the Huskies on their home floor had an 8-point lead. Then Mater Dei went on a 10-0 run, and since that point it's been back and forth. McCain looking for an opening.
Keep waiting for the Huskies to make one from outside.
Dent again weaving through traffic, and again contact and an offensive foul. Donovan Dent has 4.
Yes, and 2 of them have been charges. Coach Jason Quinn up approving the Mater Dei ability to take a charge, and so you have to adjust your game. If the refs are going to call charge most of the time, as they have tonight, then you have to stop doing that. You have to pull up and shoot that little floater. You're not going to get all the way to the rim like you like to do.
Mater Dei by 3. Final minute, third quarter. Deep ball from Prukop, rims in and out. More contact inside. This one's going against Corona Centennial. And McCain with the foul.
Wow, I don't know about that one.
That's 3 on Jared McCain. So it might come down to who's left on the floor in the last quarter.
True enough.
Fresh clock. Askew. Tough shot. That was terrific defense by Huff.
Yep, he stuck right with him, even through the little bit of push-off with the off arm. Dawson wants a high ball screen.
Paris has hit a couple of contested jump shots in the quarter. There's another one. It was contested. It still doesn't matter. He's starting to look like the player we know he is.
Well,
he can really score. He averages 19 a game.
And his teammates kind of ignored him. He made 2 in a row, and then they stopped giving him the ball.
Inside, powering up again is Davidson.
Oh, he's been magnificent tonight. Nick Davidson scoring from all over the floor.
It'll count if it goes. Quarter's over. It's modern day. The number 7 seed. A presumed underdog here, leading by 3 after 3. What a battle. Hard fought, defensive minded on the Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC TV.
.39 Sierra Canyon wins, 67-39. Those 2 are finals, yes. Now, all 3 of those games are final, except for us.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go for the final quarter. Spalding is the official basketball of the Southern section. True to the game, Spalding. Fox Sports West, don't forget to check these games out to see how your Southern section this season. Ice stream of the home. See how your season through the open division. February 28th at Fox Sports West at foxsportsgo.com. East Bay is the official access to each other.
Yeah.
If they hold on.
Yeah.
Ryan Evans has hit a 3 here. Sorry about the technical issue. It's 45-39 Mater Dei. A minute and a half into the fourth quarter. And a takeaway, and here come the Huskies back by 6. Again, we apologize, but you're going to see a thrill ride down to the finish line. This is Huff, who early on scored 8 points off the bench.
Oh, my goodness.
McBride all the way draws the foul. 6 minutes and change to play. Mater Dei by 6.
Well, Centennial just absolutely can't make a shot. McCain missed a wide open 3 and then missed a drive to the basket. So this time at least they get a 2-shot opportunity. McBride will go to the line. But Centennial's got to find somebody that can stick the ball in the basket besides Paris Dawson, because Mater Dei's not letting him breathe.
This is our Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC. Brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Visit PacificSurfliner.com and hug the coast. McBride shaves it to 4. Donovan Dent, who is in foul trouble with 4, comes back in for McBride.
But Coach Giles looking for some sort of offensive spark, and Dent is the usual suspect when it comes to that. Turnover.
Greenbach didn't know the pass was coming back to him. White scores with the left hand. Beautiful spin move by Peyton White, the sophomore.
And Will could not challenge that with the 4 fouls.
Askew still out there with 3. Remember, he picked up those 3 fouls in 2 minutes and 50 seconds to begin the game. Now he can play hard down the stretch in the final 5.5. And Askew fails with that jumper, but Prukop winning the 50-50 ball. And one, Aiden Prukop with a fabulous effort.
Oh, his hustle tonight has been as good as any Monarch on both ends of the court. You'll see here, he just chases down that miss. He came about 5 feet to go get it, and then through contact, 3 Huskies whacking at the ball, and Prukop still gets it up over the rim for the and one.
Foul shooting, again, an issue for both sides.
Yeah.
And we have a tight game here, and you just wonder, one of these teams is going to walk out of the gym tonight saying, you know, had we hit our foul shots, we would have won the game.
Yes, exactly right. Break for the Huskies there as the ball was fumbled out of bounds, but they rule it was off of Breedenbach.
McCain, 30 feet away from the goal.
He's taken over at the point, and they've decided to try to get Dawson some shots from the 2 guard.
Dent not close with that one, and Hornery rebounds.
Yeah, that just hasn't worked for Donovan tonight. A couple of charges and a couple of misses.
5 minutes to play.
This is the time that Askew, with his skill set, can take over the game from here.
Mater Dei will play Rancho Christian in Temecula on Tuesday. Will they be there 1-0? There's a turnover, the walk.
Yeah,
we know the Rancho Christian's already won in this pool.
Yeah, I think they got an illegal screen, Randy, against Hornery. But nonetheless, the ball will go back to the Huskies.
It was the foul call. McBride rushed back in, and Huff goes out. Josh Giles wants a little more size inside to combat that front line of Mater Dei.
Where's the offense come from for the Huskies, who have really struggled from beyond the arc? I don't think they have more than maybe 2 made threes tonight.
One of them by McCain. Huff has one. Here's White. He has been aggressive. We know Dawson can fill it up.
Oh, nearly the 5th on Breedenbach.
McCain with a terrific drive and finish. Jared McCain, a calm freshman player, and the Huskies close to within 2.
That's a smart play. The outside game not there for Jared tonight. That time he put it on the deck all the way to the rim with the offhand.
Davidson, a screen for Askew. Evans is left alone. Davidson had it knocked away, out of bounds. It belongs to Mater Dei.
Ooh, letting them play in there. I thought Davidson got hacked a couple of times, but it's a play on, out of bounds Monarchs. Timeout, Mater Dei.
3:59 left. Close game. The guests lead by 2. Mater Dei trying to hold on the road. Pacific Surfliners Game of the Week playoffs on KDOC TV. The Pacific Surfliners CIF Game of the Week on KDOC TV is brought to you by Amtrak Pacific Surfliner. Need a getaway? Getting there's half the fun when you travel by train. Visit PacificSurfliner.com. And by Wingstop. Open late. Order online at Wingstop.com.
Couple of finals in the Open Division. Rancho Christian beats Harvard Westlake 67-62, and Sierra Canyon dominates St. John Bosco final 67-39.
No real surprises.
No, the seeds have held up except for this one, and this one is anybody's game with just under 4 to play.
Mater Dei basketball, still 33 on the shot clock. Askew finds Evans. Crash tip by Davidson, but he came over the back.
And that's because McBride did an excellent job of boxing him out. Just because you're taller doesn't mean you can go over the back of the opponent, but McBride also has to be connected to the taller player, as he was that time. Nice fundamentals by the freshman.
We will have a Wingstop player of the game as well, and that's still yet to be determined, as is the outcome of this playoff game. Dawson with 15 on the clock. Accelerates, comes underneath, and ties it at 47. That's what the leader is all about, the head of the snake.
And Dawson knew once he got past Askew, who was waiting for him was Breedenbach with the 4 fouls. So he took it right into the chest of the shot blocker.
Prukop on the wing. Askew.
Great defense by White.
10 on the shot clock. Askew all the way. Great feed to Prukop. Devin Askew. Oh, did he find the dish to Prukop.
Next level play there by Askew. He could have shot it, but instead, like a true point guard, the better option was the dump off.
McCain inside to McBride. We're even again at 49, and this time it was McCain that facilitated.
Yep, nice, and a nice finish by McBride. Coach Giles told me that McBride doesn't know how strong he is. Well, that time he powered his way through contact.
2.5 minutes left in regulation. Prukop feeds Breedenbach. Couldn't convert. Contested by McBride. Dent all the way. And he's fouled. Going to the free throw line is Donovan Dent. 2:09 left, trying to give Corona Centennial the lead.
Dent is fearless in the open court. He knew he was going to get clobbered on that one, but he's able to hang on, stay up in the air that extra second, and get it up close enough to the rim to get the two-shot opportunity. But as has been the custom tonight, Randy, can either team make critical foul shots?
Dent, excellent offensive player, an elite defensive player, has excellent vision. Let's see what he can do at the line for the lead. Not yet.
So many missed free throws on both sides. Watch as Dent knows he's going to get whacked there, but he hit up in the air just long enough. We're going to get what do we got? Stoppage of play? Oh, no. Okay.
We have a conversation right now.
Yeah, Dawson was getting some fluids in him, but you can't do that during the game. So the referee was nice enough to, Jeff Logan said, look, I stopped it because
there was water on the floor, apparently.
Yeah.
Second foul shot by Dent is converted. Huskies take a timeout, and they have a 1-point lead.
Every trip to the line is maximum tonight, and Dent at least got 1 out of 2 if you're a Husky fan.
Well, we expected to have a terrific game here tonight. We're not shocked by the fact that they've battled in this pool, in Pool B. You see Rancho Christian already with a hard-fought win over Harvard Westlake. Sierra Canyon, the top-ranked team, easily over St. John Bosco. Etiwanda last night pulled away late, knocked off St. Anthony.
Yeah, St. Anthony was actually up after 1, but then Etiwanda just turned up that suffocating defense and held St. Anthony to 10 points in each of the second and third quarters. And Dave Kleckner's team's going to be a load. They could beat anybody up on that board there because of the way they play. And then Sierra Canyon, St. John Bosco has just had trouble scoring the ball the last month or so, and you got to be able to score against Sierra Canyon.
All right, what do you expect here? It's 50-49 Huskies. They've just taken the lead. Giles will send his team out to play defense and pressure the ball. What do you expect from Mater Dei offensively?
Well, I think first thing you got to do is get the ball into the half court. But Mater Dei's had a great third quarter by reversing the ball from side to side. That's enabled Evans to get shots, Prukop to get shots. So be patient, Mater Dei. Once you break the half court, unless you've got a layup, pull it out, run your offense, see if you can't get the shooters who have been effective tonight an open look.
Greenbach brings it into Prukop. He's played a nice game tonight for the Monarchs.
Yeah, on both ends, rebounding, defense, scoring the ball. Now, let's see if Mater Dei is patient enough on offense.
Looking for the advantage, down by 1. It's Askew for 3. Devin Askew has given Mater Dei the 52-50 lead.
Perfect execution of the offense. The ball went from the right side all the way across to the left side where Askew got a good off-the-ball screen and knocked it down.
It's the Huskies' turn, and Dent. Donovan Dent. Is this one going the other way? Offensive foul.
It is.
That's his 5th.
And I just don't know. He made himself skinny by sliding here. Oh my, that's a bang bang, and it goes against the Huskies.
Dent thought he was going to have a 3-point play the other way.
Yes, he changed his body angle and made himself skinny, and I thought that was going to be enough to have the call go for him instead of against him, but the referees didn't see it that way, and that is a backbreaker. Watch here as he slices between the defenders, but that's not the way the officials saw it. Charging foul goes against, and that's it for Dent tonight.
It's a major weapon off the floor for Corona Centennial. The Huskies applying the pressure.
Good look.
Greenbach playing with 4 fouls. Askew will orchestrate. Askew lost the ball. A run out for Dawson.
Oh, how is that not a foul?
Contact, no foul, ball out of bounds. Josh Giles is going ballistic.
And he should be. I mean, that's a foul. I'm sorry if everybody gets mad at me, but this is a foul. There's contact on a shooter. You can't let that be a play on. I'm sorry. If everybody's mad at me, I'm sorry. But that's
My
that's
biggest
a foul.
concern is he okay?
Yeah, but I mean he elevates. There's contact. That's a foul.
That's your leader down Paris Dawson. Let's take a look at it again.
Now watch. There's clearly contact that knocks him off of his equilibrium, and that's not a play on.
Still working on the left leg of Paris. And Josh Giles is letting the three officials know about it.
Wow.
And Josh is normally mild-mannered.
Yes.
He is really upset.
Well, and if Prukop had tried to draw the charge by staying on the ground, then if there was contact, it might have been, because they've been calling charge tonight.
The good news, it looks like
elevated.
Paris is okay. That's really the most important thing.
Sure, but I mean, you're down 2 with 70 seconds to go, and you get a run out and a drive to the basket. You're hoping to shoot 2 free throws there.
Corona Centennial takes the full timeout. 52-50. Mater Dei clinging to the 2-point advantage. And, we have all our games from the entire season stored at kdoctv.org. You can just go to the website. You can pick out some favorite moments. I think back to that Damien Classic, so many great games there with Etiwanda losing to Sierra Canyon, and also that second quarter when Birmingham lit it up to wipe out that deficit against Sierra Canyon. Now, the Trailblazers went on to blow them out in the second half, but there was that one quarter where Birmingham just lit it up, and they're still alive in the Open Division in the city.
And you saw the potential of Birmingham and how good they can be when they're at their best. And right now they seem to be playing at their best, as they've won, I believe, 10 in a row.
Again, that's kdoctv.com, and you can check out the sports, and all the games are stored there, and I think you'll really enjoy them. All right, it's 52-50. Huskies to bring it in, down by 2. And Paris Dawson is okay, working against Askew. For the lead, it's blocked by Askew.
What a defensive play by Askew.
So Devin Askew making plays down the stretch. Trying to lead Mater Dei to a victory in the Open Division. Askew off balance, banks it in. Devin Askew has been spectacular down the stretch.
Must possession here for the Huskies.
And the layup. There's that man again, Ramsey Huff. 54-52.
One chance at a steal. Timeout, Mater Dei.
Yep, Devin Askew got the call. He yelled it out there.
What a play by Askew. Through contact. Off the glass and in.
How good has he been in the final couple minutes, making shots, blocking the attempt by Paris Dawson. You talk about leadership. There it is on the screen for you.
Well,
and Professor, he still has the 3 fouls.
Yeah,
He's never picked up that 4th.
No, he hasn't. And he hasn't had his best offensive shooting night. But with 4 minutes to go, I said this is the time that a player like Askew can take over the game, and you just saw it there. You saw a tremendous defensive play where he blocks a shot from 20, 22 feet, and then comes down and plays through 3 Huskies and banks it up and in. Next Tuesday, here are our choices. You've got Harvard Westlake at Centennial in Pool B, and then Mater Dei at Rancho Christian. Rancho Christian has already won tonight, so they sit at 1-0 going into Game 2 of the 3-game set. And if Mater Dei should prevail tonight, they would be 1-0 going to Temecula to take on Rancho Christian. And holy mackerel, that game has huge implications. So let's see who prevails tonight. Might have a lot to do with where we are on Tuesday.
You know, it's interesting. That team, Mater Dei, has had a disappointing year by their standards. I know they have a great record, 22-6, 9-1 in the Trinity League, but everyone thought they'd be better this year because they won 29 games and brought everyone back. However, if they win tonight, if they can hold on in this atmosphere, suddenly a little bit of that goes away, the fact that they were a disappointment.
Well, and this is a team that's so tournament tested. Playing on the road in a hostile atmosphere doesn't really bother the Monarchs.
Full court pressure.
Watch for Askew maybe to run a fly pattern here.
Greenbach's got to be very careful bringing it in. Gets it to Askew, who comes up the floor. Devin's attacking. They take it away from him. Dawson the other way.
Does Josh want a timeout? No.
McCain for the lead. Rebound, Prukop.
Got a foul now.
Both teams are over the lineup. Dawson committed the foul. Prukop will go to the charity stripe. That's the 19th foul on the Huskies, only the second on Dawson.
Askew didn't really need to go all the way to the basket there. Might have been better served just to run some time, but McCain got a clean look and just missed it. He's had a tough shooting night, has the freshman. Now for Mater Dei, if you make two, you're in really good shape. But if you make one, then you get to that situation. Do you foul before they shoot a three? I'm a big believer in that, and Prukop can make that all irrelevant.
1-1, he missed it. It's a 2-point game. He did not earn the bonus. We're going to have a timeout quickly taken by Corona Centennial.
Well,
obviously we're going to stay right here. Just 12 seconds left. Now, Professor, you got to think the ball's going in Paris Dawson's hands to facilitate, at least to start the play.
Yeah, I agree with that, but of course Mater Dei knows that as well. I thought perhaps Coach Giles would have gotten a timeout on the last possession, but some coaches like to play the open court kind of thing as opposed to calling the timeout, but it resulted in kind of a quick rush three by McCain that missed. They get redemption. They get a chance to still take the lead with a three, tie with a two, and I got to figure Mater Dei will know Dawson's going to get it as well. And if I'm Mater Dei, I'm running a second defender at him, and he's not going to beat me.
Well, McCain's the freshman. Perhaps he could be a hero tonight. They have lost the services of Donovan Dent, who is fouled out. 54-52, and again, they met earlier in the year, and it was a 10-point, 63-53 victory for Corona Centennial. The Huskies' 22-game winning streak on the line. Devin Askew certainly in the running for a Wingstop player of the game, but that's still not decided. The jury is still out.
Well said. Yeah, if I'm Mater Dei, I'm not going to pressure the perimeter quite so much because they haven't been making threes. I would not give Centennial a driving lane to the basket by extending your defense too far. Here we go.
Here's Dawson. We knew he'd have the ball. Comes down and he's driving to the basket. Puts it up and in. We're tied in Corona, California. Timeout Mater Dei. We're even at 54. They're on their feet at the dog pound.
I think they're discussing whether Mater Dei got a timeout or not and how much time will be on the clock. Right now it's less than a second. I think they're going to put some time back on the clock. I think they're going to put somewhere between 2 and 3 on the clock.
I've been told 2.8. Let's see if they go to 2.8.
Okay.
Yep, that's what's up on the board. 2.8. So Mater Dei, they're going to get pressured, though. That's the problem. They got to be careful here. They can't afford to turn it over.
No. You got to. That first pass has to be a real productive pass. If not, just eat it and go to overtime. Nothing risky here by Mater Dei on that first pass. But if they can get one, say beyond the arc, then the next pass could result in at least a long three.
We all knew that Paris Dawson was going to take the basketball. Mater Dei knew it. I knew it. You knew it. Everybody in the building knew it. He got it. He took it straight to the hole and scored. They couldn't stop him.
No, he got a high ball screen about 30 feet from the hoop, but there was plenty of time for Mater Dei to run a second defender because Dawson got the screen a good 30 feet from the basket, so he had to take a good 4 dribbles to get to that layup. I'm a little bit surprised Mater Dei didn't stick somebody in his way.
Now, in a perfect world, if you're Mater Dei, you want Devin Askew to have the ball quickly come up the floor. In a perfect world, it's not going to be so easy, however, because Corona Centennial, the Huskies are going to come out and really apply the heat.
3 seconds, basically 1 second per dribble, so he might be able to get 2 dribbles off and a shot.
Hornery will bring it in. White's going to defend him as he tries to find an open man in red.
Yeah, they might try to go at least mid-court with this pass. Nope.
They inbound it. Askew in the backcourt had it knocked away, and we're going to overtime. We will step out, catch our breath. It's playoff basketball. 2 behemoths in Southern California duking it out. It is a heavyweight championship fight on the Pacific Surfliner Game of the Week on KDOC. Overtime is next. don't talk about technical difficulties. You see him bark as in that husky bite in the overtime, even at 54. And it was a Paris Dawson layup that tied it late.
But both teams playing valiantly in a struggle to score the ball tonight, but both teams really working hard on the defensive end.
Here
comes Devin Askew, met by Ramsey Huff. Greenbach down low to Prukop, and he's fouled. Got knocked down. Looks like Peyton White got him at the shoulder.
What a wonderful play run by Mater Dei out of the first possession. They get it into the high-low area, and then Prukop cutting off a ball screen that was a good 12 to 15 feet away. Perfectly timed pass. That's great execution by Mater Dei.
Everybody has a lot of fouls, right? Hard to believe for Peyton White that was his first foul of the night.
That's a great point, because these teams have been banging each other, and White's been right in the middle of the mix.
2 foul shots converted by Aiden Prukop. Mater Dei gets the early lead in the overtime.
Dawson was the main contributor offensively in the second half. Who for Centennial is going to help him?
Maybe it'll be Huff. Ran into the tall trees, the tall timber.
I think Centennial collectively is sort of losing confidence in the outside shot, and justifiably so. They haven't made very many. But taking it into the redwood forest that is Mater Dei, not sure that's a high percentage play either.
Dawson, and he draws the ticket.
And I believe that's on Breedenbach, and that's going to be it for Will, and that's a tough one because he was standing straight up. No, he elevated just a touch, and that's where they get him, but that's a tough call, especially for a guy that's such a major contributor for Mater Dei. He'll have to leave with the 5.
We're waving goodbye to Will Breedenbach here. Jerry McKnight not happy.
No, I thought Will jumped straight up in the air, but, same sort of call that they went no call on the Dawson and Prukop collision.
As Breedenbach goes to the water bottle and is eliminated, Mater Dei does have the luxury of bringing back Nick Davidson, who's been terrific tonight.
Yeah, Davidson's first half is what kept Mater Dei in the game.
And again, high school basketball, 4-minute overtime. Dawson rattles in the first one. The next one could tie it, and nobody's sitting down anymore. Maybe a few people here and there. But the ones with energy are standing up in the stands. We're even at 56.
It's the kind of leadership you expect from Askew and Dawson, the 2 best players on the floor.
Evan being trapped on the back line.
Good pass.
Davidson, it's a great look to Evans. Hard foul inside, a playoff foul as Horner went up strong.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're going to call that an intentional foul. Oh, my.
I thought it was just a hard playoff foul.
Me too. I don't know.
He got hammered. There's no question about it.
No question about it. But he went strong into the defender. The defender wasn't going to let him get a layup. We'll watch it again. Watch here. I don't see anything intentional about that. Oh, he grabbed him by the arm, but that's to prevent him from making the layup. He made a play on the ball. I just don't see that.
It was Paris Dawson's 3rd foul. It's a 1-point lead for the Monarchs, and because of the intentional variety,
yes.
Mater Dei gets the ball.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why that's a big call.
Well, everything is magnified. You're in overtime. You're in a playoff game.
Yes.
Very tense, terrific battle.
Good look.
Evans. This one's going against Mater Dei.
Oh, wow. I don't know. Hornery setting a screen for Evans. Looked to me like he didn't move on it. Oof. Wow.
Corona Centennial, the Huskies on their home floor. Paris Dawson looking for the lead. This place will erupt if Corona Centennial gets the advantage. White attacking. They do lead. The layup from Peyton White.
Oh, and he went down hard, and he's not getting up, so we're going to get a stoppage of play. Looks like it might be a cramp, but we'll see.
That's a terrific effort by White, getting it up over Davidson.
Yeah, that shows the athleticism, the elevation that White has, because Davidson had risen to the apex to try to get at least a little piece of it, and I thought he did, but the ball still went in. And as you can see, they're working on Peyton White. Now, if you're Mater Dei, you've had a great success getting good looks at the basket by the high-low action. And I would expect more of that. You'll see a cutter down the baseline, and if they can get the ball into that free throw lane to top of the circle position with a big, Mater Dei's bigs pass the ball so very well. At least that's the way I would attack things. You know, you don't want to fall behind by too much in overtime. You got to stay connected.
Yeah, we have 3 minutes of the OT to decide it, so we played 1 minute. One foul shot for Mater Dei, and a basket for Corona Centennial. There's Peyton White, who made a marvelous move and kissed it off the glass and scored.
Now they're going to have to take him out of the game, even if they get that thing loosened up.
Yeah, you want liquids in your system when you have those cramps.
But because they had to stop play for his injury, he's going to have to come out. Even if it's good, you don't want him out. And disconsolate Will Breedenbach, who left with his 5th foul. And he's such a offensive weapon, scoring the ball, making the right pass, setting screens. Mater Dei will miss him these last 3 minutes. They're still they're finally getting White to his feet here. And hopefully he'll be able to come back in the game at some point, because he's been one of the few Centennial players that's been able to challenge the Mater Dei size inside.
Yeah, he plays big. There's no question about it. He's 6'4". Again, the coach said his potential is through the roof. And the way he attacked the goal, playing downhill with such force, he's still hurting. I just hope it's a cramp, because they're massaging that right leg.
And you got to wonder at some point whether Centennial's going to have to take a timeout here. You can't keep the game held up forever. And there you see Gingerly stepping on that foot. And now Mater Dei. They've been running such good plays out of the half court in the second half. If they can get the ball through this tenacious pressure defense in the back court, they should be able to get something that they like.
Comes into Prukop. We'll bring it up against Paris Dawson.
Boy, he's been good tonight, and I mean Aiden Prukop's been good tonight.
Askew, the floor general. Made a brilliant fourth quarter, Devin Askew.
That's the pass that should set something up.
Down low, the pass misses Devin Askew from the high post.
Oh, but it was there. It was there. Oh, Davidson with a nice delivery, and Askew just lost the grip on it. Let's see if it was off target. Just a touch. Devin was crouching at the time the ball went over his head. That's a tough one because Mater Dei ran a nice play.
2.5 minutes left in the overtime. Huskies by 1. Huff on the wing. Out on top.
This young team, who wants to shoot it?
Huff held his pivot foot. McCain all the way. Rebound, Prukop trying to get a foul against the double team. He wanted to convince the officials that he was fouled. Didn't get the call, and here comes Askew.
Oh, fortunate roll there. There it is again.
Prukop came up short. Every possession is huge. Corner three, in and out from Huff.
That might have been a backbreaker. That would have given them a 2-possession lead. Now, let's see once again if Mater Dei works out of that high post.
Davidson and Hornery. Evans with the 3-ball. Yes. Mater Dei by 2. Their fans love it. So does the bench.
Beautifully run play. Evans comes out high off a really nice ball screen, and Hornery with a perfectly timed delivery to a shooter in rhythm.
Dawson for the lead. Evans clears. His outlet is to Prukop. We're in the final minute of the first overtime.
Don't need to foul yet. Can play just tough defense, get the ball back, but if Mater Dei's got a layup, you got to hack them.
Mater Dei with the ball and a precarious 2-point lead. Askew stumbling on the floor. Comes to Davidson. Prukop free. Another big 3-ball. Oh. This one from Aiden Prukop.
Backbreaker.
And look at that bench. 63-58. Back of the iron, no good. Tip back out to Dawson for 3. Evans comes down with it, and he's fouled, and Mater Dei's in great shape. What a battle. What a battle in Corona, California tonight.
The Monarchs worked so hard in the second half because this defense is tough to get quality looks, and just a couple of fortunate bounces of the ball in that sequence where the ball finds its way to Prukop, and he didn't hesitate. Aiden's been terrific tonight.
And the way the game's played, if Mater Dei hits shots, the way Centennial has to sink in and play against the big men, those outside shots are open. And if they hit those, it's a tough cover. And it's suddenly a 6-point game.
From
20 seconds left.
From 58-58, Evans came off a screen and made a 3. Prukop with a big-time jumper, and now Evans can salt it away here. Becomes a 3-possession game.
And he makes the shot. 65-58. Mater Dei takes the timeout.
You got to think down the stretch, the experienced Monarchs, who all of these guys played all the way to the final against the semifinals against Sierra Canyon last year, and just all that experience in these tough times in this overtime. Mater Dei just came up a little bit larger while the young Huskies struggled to get a good shot.
Despite losing Breedenbach to fouls, really they didn't get much from Will tonight. Davidson picked up the pace. But some of the other guys, the Prukops, the Evans, with money balls down the stretch.
Yep, the 2 guys going to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo come up really large here as Jason Quinn's going to the architect of the defense. But I'll tell you, Mater Dei just showed grit down the stretch. It was 58-58. It was anybody's ball game, and Mater Dei just made plays when they had to down the stretch. The young Huskies, I think the experience factor made the difference.
A 22-game winning streak about to get snapped. And the number 2 seed looks like they're going to absorb a loss at home, barring a furious finish. And Dawson needs to pick up the tempo.
Yeah, got to make one right away and foul. And
Cremonesi blocked it out of bounds. It'll be retained by the Huskies.
And that all took too long. And Mater Dei's going to prevail tonight. On the road, that's a huge victory. Now Centennial will have a home game coming up on Tuesday against Harvard Westlake, who also lost. That is a must-win for either of those teams. You can't go 0-2 in advance.
Dawson kicking it back out. McBride. Rebound Prukop. They foul him, and with 3.8. Mater Dei, I'm looking at Ryan Evans. He's clapping. He's pumped up. Hornery's really pumped up. Cremonesi gave him some good minutes in the overtime. Just a quality victory on the road.
Yep.
And for Devin Askew, never picked up the 4th foul. Made huge plays in the 4th quarter to get him into the overtime. He's played a tremendous game. And Mater Dei about to go to 23-6 on the year. For Corona Centennial, only their 3rd loss of the entire year. They haven't lost in the calendar 2020 season. You have to go back into December when they got beat by Harvard Westlake, and you can see that bench celebrating victory. This is sweet for Gary McKnight. And Devin Askew comes out of the game. Final seconds. And it's over. 66-58 is your final. Mater Dei 1-0 in the pool. Corona Centennial 0-1. Our Wingstop player of the game, Devin Askew. He was terrific despite foul issues.
Yeah, and he didn't have his best scoring night, but he led in many other ways, and he made a couple of big shots, had a shot block down there. But this is a team victory for Mater Dei. I mean, this is grit and experience, and this is what a championship program does. This is he is so used to winning in crunch time, and Mater Dei prevailed at the end.
I want to thank everybody on our David Otta crew. For the professor, Paul Westfall, I'm Randy Roseblum. Stay tuned. Dateline is coming up next. This was a fabulous finish in overtime. Mater Dei prevails on our Game of the Week from Pacific Surfliner on KDOC TV. Good night, everybody.